Do you know you could actually spend more by buying a used ATM? Stay to the end of the video and I will share with you the 5 things you need to know when buying a used ATM. Hi, I'm Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind group page, and we help hundreds of aspiring ATM business owners go from 0 ATMs to ATM Business Pro in as little as 30 days. Without further ado, the top 5 things you need to know when you buy a used ATM. Point number 1 is the ATM EMV compliant? EMV compliant stands for Euro, MasterCard, Visa. Now, this has been EMV upgrades started or it had to be completed by 2017, but there is still used ATMs that I see them all the time on eBay or in the chats. People say, oh, I want to sell these ATMs. They're $200 or $300. Those ATMs almost every time are not EMV upgraded. A lot of times they'll show you a picture of one ATM, but then when you get the ATM, it's a totally different ATM. So you just got to be aware of that. And if it is a non-EMV ATM, you got to make sure that it can be upgraded. Some ATMs that are out there cannot be upgraded. So now you bought an ATM, you thought you were saving a lot of money, maybe $200-300, you got it on eBay, you got it back to your place, and you know what? People have now instructed you and said, oh, that ATM is out of compliance. You might have to get an ATM upgrade kit, but a lot of kits you can't get them anymore. So it'll be a problem. So don't buy an ATM unless you check with somebody before you buy a used ATM, because they can navigate through that. We can do it over here at PDQ. You need some help, just send us a pic of this ATM and we can tell you from the picture, is it EMV upgradable? Is it EMV upgraded already? Point number 2, does the dispenser work? A lot of times what happens is you might be buying an ATM that might be 5, 6, 10 years old. I've seen up to 10 years old. And the ATM dispenser, belts are worn, there's rollers on the dispenser, there's rollers in the cassette. Sometimes those rollers get gummy up, they start to deteriorate over the years of being in hot places and in cold and then hot again, and they start to wear down and they break down, and then they get really what we call gummy, and then that puts that gumminess on the bills that dispense, and then those bills get caught up in the dispensers or they don't dispense correctly. So can all that be fixed? Absolutely it can. You know, if you want, you send it to PDQ, we'll help you rebuild those dispensers and cassettes. But when you buy that, you might think, hey, I'm saving a lot of money, and then you realize that, you know what, the ATM doesn't dispense the bills correctly and there's an issue. So again, be cautious of what you're buying. So if you're thinking about starting a profitable ATM business but didn't know where to start, stay to the end of the video and I will share with you our checklist on how to start an ATM business the right way, even if you have 0 experience in business. In this checklist, I will share with you the 5 things you need to start a profitable ATM business. In this checklist, I will share with you the 5 things you need a profitable ATM business so you can build a passive income source for your family. You'll have a clear roadmap towards ATM business success so you can earn between $250 and $1,500 passive income every single month. All right, let's get back to the video. Point number 3, keypads. There's been a lot of talk about the keypad issue. One thing you guys got to know, if a certain ATM has a certain keypad, those keypads will now be obsolete in the year 2025. So we got basically 2.5 years before those. It's not a big issue. If you have those ATMs, all you got to do is you're going to switch out keypad to another keypad. Shouldn't cost you very much money, but time will tell. I know prices are a little high right now, but they'll probably come down. But if you're going to invest in a used ATM, you just want to know, is this one of these ATMs that needs to be a keypad upgrade? Not a big deal. Either way, you have 2.5 more years until they have to be upgraded. But at that time, you'll have to make a decision. Hey, do I want to upgrade this thing or do I want to buy a new one? But again, it's not going to be a big issue for you guys going forward. Number 4. So if I don't want to go used, Phil, what should I do? You know what? You can always buy new. I always recommend, if you're new to the game, you should always buy new anyways, because you don't know, is the inadequacies of yourself and being new in the business, or is it the ATM? When you guys get in the business, you're not going to understand all the ebbs and flows of the ATM business. You don't want to put another thing on your plate. You should always just start new. We recommend to everybody and our students and everybody out there, at least have 5 ATMs out on the street, brand new. At that time, and then after that, then you can buy used, because you understand the complexities of the ATM, you understand how the business ebbs and flows, and you'll have a better knowledge of the ATM business. And then at that time, if you decide, you know what, my next few, when we put them out on the street, I'm going to go a little inexpensive. I'm going to buy some used, save some money. Then you have skill set in the game that you will know how to navigate through these waters, and you'll say, okay, you know what? I see that this dispenser, I could probably get another, 4, 5, 6 months out of it, but sometime I'm going to have to replace that dispenser or rebuild the dispenser. One of the ways you would be able to tell is if you get a lot of rejects, then you'll know, hey, I got to have that dispenser rebuilt. And point number 5, okay, if I decide to buy used fill, what should I be looking for? How much money should I save? If you're buying used, you should be able to save anywhere from $500 to $1,000 depending on how old the ATM is, if it has any damage, anything's busted, but that's what you should be able to save. So let's say a brand new ATM is around about $2,500. You should get the ATM for somewhere between $1,500 and $2,000 for that used ATM. But again, it depends on how old the ATM is and what it has. But that's the kind of savings you could usually get if you bought a used ATM. But always keep in mind, how are you going to pick up the ATM? There's a lot of ATMs in the chats. I see guys get in the business and then a little while later they're getting out of the business. And so there's ATMs available, but now how are you going to get that ATM? Do you have to go pick it up? Or somebody going to ship it to you? You got to pay for shipping. So it's not as glamorous and easy as you think, but it is a way that you can grow your business a little. You can scale a little faster if you buy some used ATMs. But again, make sure that you've been in the game for a while. You have 5 or more ATMs, and then if you decide you want to scale that business, then you can scale it in with some used product, just sprinkle it around. And keep in mind that you should always think about every year, you should try to get rid of some of your older ATMs on the route. If you got a bigger route, try to take about 20% of route and sell those to some other people, or just trade them in. Like distributors, a lot of times they'll take the used product because they have a lot of customers that they're looking for used product. So if you're interested in starting your own ATM business, I want to invite you to our free checklist entitled ATM Passive Business Income Checklist. The 5 things you need to start a profitable ATM business, where I'll share with you the 5 things you need to start a profitable ATM business so you can start earning passive income, make more money, and spend more time with your family. So if you're interested in your ATM journey, click the link down below and start your ATM journey today. Remember, this is Phil from PDQ Merchant Enterprises and the ATM Mastermind group page, where we buy your freedom back one transaction at a time. Thank you guys very much.